Welcome to the City of Miramar's Business Connect, where we connect your business to what's important. And I am Johnny Douglas, your host with the Economic and Business Development Department. Today we will be discussing Turner Construction Company up close. And we will have as our guest today, as our guest panelist, we have Mr. Greg Walker, who happens to be the procurement manager for the company. Welcome, Mr. Walker. It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you, Johnny. It's a pleasure to be here.
As if you are living in the state of Florida, you know very well that it's an enormous opportunity for construction companies. But with our ever-growing population and our beautiful landscapes, construction companies are caught in a hard market as they compete for procurement opportunities. And today we will learn more about Turner Construction Company, who happen to be one of the #1 players in the game. I'd like to start this segment off by asking Mr. Walker, if you don't mind, to give us an overview of Turner Construction Company.
Sure thing. So Turner Construction is a American-based international general contractor, right? So we do mainly large-scale commercial projects. Now, what does that look like? That looks like the football stadiums that you see NFL teams play in, baseball stadiums that you see Major League Baseball teams play in. We do airports. We do high rises. We've done the last couple of tallest buildings in the world, right? So if anyone's ever had the pleasure of going to Dubai, we built the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. We built Taipei 101 in Taiwan. So we're domestically based, but we do quite a few projects around the world. There's actually a project in India. It's the tallest monument, right? So I can't tell you exactly how tall it is, but it is based in India. Maybe Google it, and it's enormous. And our team over in India was in charge of that project. So, that's the big stuff. That's the glamorous stuff. But at the end of the day, we cover all bases. So we also do smaller projects. We do projects for for $200,000 and in that rough range. So it's not just the multi-billion-dollar projects. We cover a broad range, and that's important to us because we know that everyone has a start, right? Everyone has to start somewhere. Right. So we can't just cater to the big players. We cater to mom and pop, small contractors that are just getting their feet wet. So that's Turner. That's Turner in a nutshell. We've been around for well over 100 years. We have many offices throughout the country, and we serve a vast array of clients.
Okay, awesome. Yes, you have been around a long time. As I was on your website, I noticed you, Mr. Henry Turner, founder, 116 years ago. And it was based off the core values of teamwork, integrity, and commitment. So
absolutely,
you guys have shown it, and I think that have been your driving force for such a long time. 116 years has been your driving force that made you a company to be reckoned with.
Yeah, absolutely, and those are still, those values are literally printed on the walls of our office. And every year, every company, right? You evaluate your employees and see the progress they may have made throughout the year. Those three values that you just mentioned, those are the three first things that everyone's judged on. Teamwork, commitment, and integrity. And if you're living by those guidelines and those values that Mr. Ford set out many years ago, those are still driving the ship today. So I really appreciate that you brought that up and that you mentioned those values.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is one of the key elements of, I think, of any organization, especially when we're in a diverse society as we're in. I
Mhm.
remember seeing you guys, meeting you at one
Mhm.
of the conventions that they had with one of the job conventions that they had
Oh,
there.
like an outreach, yes,
Right.
something like
Outreach.
an
And,
outreach, yeah.
yes, I remember how impressed I was with the company then about its diverse
Mhm.
look at the global industry that we have here. And I love that
Right,
about the company. So back then I
right.
said then, oh, I'd like to get to know this company a little bit more.
Oh, that's great. That's great feedback. I'm glad we made an impact on you.
Yeah, you did. Also, now you are the manager of procurement
Right,
department
right.
for this
Yeah,
major company. Uh,
right. So how, I'll explain that a little bit, how Turner is broken down. We're broken down into business units, right? So, uh, New York has a business unit, Atlanta has a business unit, and there's, give or take 50 of those around the country. So, I'm the procurement manager for the Miami business unit, which covers the South Florida operations, right? So Palm Beach, Broward County, Miami, Monroe County, anything further, um, that's somewhat my jurisdiction. I work hand in hand with our team throughout Florida, but I do have a counterpart in Orlando that deals with Central Florida area. Right. So yeah, for anything that's happening in South Florida related to procurement, myself and the excellent team that I work with, we do our best to serve.
wow, wonderful, wonderful one. Now, as a procurement manager and department head of department,
Mhm.
when what are you guys looking for from maybe subcontractors who are applying for procurement opportunities through you guys? What are you kind of looking for? If we have someone who's listening who has a construction company, smaller scale, but are looking to team up with you, how does that look for them?
Sure. So, the main thing that we do, we try to evaluate each company and analyze what their areas of service, beneficial use of service might be. So we work very hard to include versus exclude. Common misnomer might be, well, Turner's a big firm, right? Maybe I can't get in the door with them. But if you're looking for an opportunity, we analyze your safety history, we look at financials, but we're not looking for anything to say, okay, you're perfect, your history is perfect. What we want to see is that you're actually focused on a trade. You're looking to be to perform what we call commercially beneficial use, versus just fishing with a net per se. We want to make sure that you actually have a passion for what you're doing, and the experience level that you have may not be vast, but if you start out and you're concentrating on a certain area, we find that those firms usually do a little bit better in the long run. So getting started with Turner, we have, believe it or not, we have a lot of work in our small projects division, and that's the perfect place for someone looking to work with us to get started. Now you're probably going to have to bid a couple jobs, right? It's never going to be your first job that you get awarded. And we always like to say, don't get discouraged, because it's the ones that are persistent, so it's the firms that are persistent and communicate with us, and make sure you're not afraid to pick up the phone, and call us and say, hey, why didn't that particular opportunity work out? What could I do to adjust? and go after the next one. You know, if there's a firm out there that really wants to work in construction, in the trade and be a trade partner, we'll work with you. You know, we'll work with you through, you know, maybe our construction management school, which you know we may touch on a little later. But you know, or just giving you or making sure that you don't just bid projects that you don't stand a good chance of getting, but making sure you bid the right projects, right? You know, making sure you bid the right projects. So, you know, I could probably go on for quite a bit on that, but you know, there's very few things I like more than onboarding, uh,
Mhm.
you know, new companies who are trying to make it because, you know, we're here for that. We're here to facilitate growth in those opportunities.
Oh, awesome, awesome. You hit on some major things that I know, um, by me being a business development coordinator for the city and our department.
Mhm.
When I talk to businesses, even smaller construction companies, one of the things that I kind of notice, and you touched on it so eloquently, but I'll just flat out say that that making sure that you can handle the scope of work, first of all,
Right,
that's available. Also, making sure that your ducks are is in order. All your paperwork,
right,
all your documents are in order. All your history. It's best to have an accountant, someone that can make sure those things are available for you, so that when a
absolutely.
major company like you wants to show interest in them, that
Right,
it's not a you're not popping their bubble or taking the wind out of their sail, based
right,
not just because you're being picky, but because they're not prepared. And so
right,
that's one of the things I try to make sure that we, even in the city of Miramar, we're having programs set up now. Like one of ours is Survive and Thrive program, where we're trying to
Mhm.
bring and bridge that business community into our municipality,
Okay,
but also help have a roundtable discussion with them to find out what opportunity, what resources and information that we can bring to you that will help you sustain yourself,
sure,
your company, and grow your company. So those are kind of
sure.
things you touched on, which was very, very, very important to me. I read on your website where you also said that um, they get paid before you get paid. Now that's one of
Right,
the biggest issues that subcontractors have when it comes to prime contractors. And
absolutely.
when I read that, I was like, oh wow, there it is.
Yeah,
That's one of the things that they're afraid of. And so you
yeah.
made that very clear in even in that your presentation on the
Yeah,
phone.
yeah. So you know, I'll touch on that a little, Johnny, for anyone who may want to hear a little bit more about that. So, you know, Turner started doing that, and I'm sure other general contractors probably have followed suit. But you know, we established a program for accelerated payments for you know for trade partners. So you know, once you're, you know, getting into minutia a bit, but once your pay apps are approved, you know, you can get paid before Turner is funded. So what does that look like? You know, it looks like cutting a 45-day payment cycle down to maybe 10 to 15 days, you know. So for a smaller contractors, that cash flow is critical. You know, it's
Yes.
absolutely critical. So we encourage, you know, we encourage anyone who wants to do it, but mainly our smaller partners, we encourage them to enroll in our what we call our APP program. We encourage them to enroll in this accelerated payment program so that you know we can look ahead and get ahead of the hiccups that might present a conflict for them when they're taking on maybe a more substantial project with Turner and you know now you know they have staff to pay and they have materials to pay for and before you know maybe their line of credit wasn't tested but this is you know it's a good point that you bring up and it helps us to facilitate you know their needs which I mean let's face it we're all in business to make money right and they need the cash flow and we're here to help you know we're here to help we thankfully have a very good established option for providing early payment.
Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. I think right now, if anybody's listening who is a smaller contracting company, whether you do AC or you're doing electric or plumbing, this may be a great thing for them to try to kind of get in contact with you guys and see what you can do and see how they can partner with you guys. Um,
Mhm.
and also looks good on their resume. Very well, so it can open up other opportunities as well.
Yes,
Um, we touched a little bit on Turner University.
sure.
Now this really excited me. University, how you guys are not only um, working with smaller subcontractors, but
Right.
you're giving them the tools that they can properly compete. How insane
Yeah.
is that?
Sure. So we call it it's funny you say Turner University. That's actually the name of our internal training program. So anytime we have just internal trainings like to get up to speed with industry standards or just company standards like our harassment policies and just the
Mhm.
way to properly treat each other. We do go through something called Turner University.
Okay.
The program that you're referencing, we call it Turner School of Construction Management. But
Okay.
but I guess the school and university kind of mixes together. But the Turner School of Construction Management, I mean, it's a program we've been putting on for many years now, and it's free to participants. And what we do, we cater a program. It lasts over several weeks, So we have two classes a week, right? And usually we bring in in-house participants. So obviously we're experts in many different aspects of construction. For instance, I'm in procurement. We have folks in estimating. We have folks in the operational side of the business and the accounting side of the business. So we do have a vast array of expertise, right, to offer. So we curate that into a well organized program, and we offer it to the community. We try to enhance
Mm.
whatever level of capability that you're at. We try to offer you our expertise to enhance that. So some may get more out of the program than others, but
Mhm.
everyone will get something. Everyone will walk away with more shared knowledge than they previously had. So that's we're doing it virtually this year, so maybe a little bit more convenient for some, than
Mhm.
some, because we try to mix it around. Some years we have it in Palm Beach, and I usually try to be a presenter at one of the sessions, obviously related to procurement. And sometimes it's in Palm Beach, sometimes it's way down in Miami, sometimes in Broward. So this year you get a pass. It's virtual,
It's
so
cheating, right?
right. So that's something that we actually have. We offer two of them. This year we have the first one coming up in June, I believe, and then the second one in September. So still time to get involved. Still plenty of time to enroll and participate. So hopefully some of the participants or listeners of this podcast are able to contact us and utilize that resource, that free resource that we're offering to the community.
Perfect, perfect. Now, are these certification trainings or?
Not exactly. You do get documentation
Okay,
that you went through our program, right? So
okay,
so then if we're dealing with say a firm that's gone through our program in the future, then we at least know that, okay, they know what's going on. They
right.
they they have a basis of understanding they've been through our program. So there is verification for that. And I love when I'm talking to someone that I may not realize that I know, right? And then they say, "Hey, we went through your construction school." And that's it. I'm like,
Right.
okay, okay, you're good. You're
You're
good.
good. Right,
You,
right.
you,
I
you
was
get
gonna,
it.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that it would probably be a wonderful edge up for them
Oh yeah.
to connect with your
Oh,
company.
oh yeah. It just tells me automatically that they get the way this works. And they've already taken out valuable time out of their week, out of their day
Mhm.
for an extended period of time to try to learn and try to enhance their business. So that says a lot. That says a lot about them, as a company. It says a lot about them as people, that they're willing to spend the time and invest into getting a leg up. So yeah, it means a lot to me when I hear that, and I do try to treat our graduates with a little extra love.
Oh, awesome, awesome. So personal question for you.
Sure.
What do you love about Turner Construction Company? How many years you've been there with them?
Okay, so I've actually been with Turner my entire career. I've been, yeah, I've never worked for another company after graduating from college. I've been with Turner for 20 years. Yeah, rare. So I like, I like a lot of things about Turner. I would say, the one thing that has kept me here is Turner is, they're the sharp end of the sword.
Mhm.
They 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 innovate. We care so much about staying ahead of the curve. So we're constantly changing. We have great leadership. Our CEO Peter Davern,
Mhm.
this past year during the struggles with COVID and several people having to work remotely, and then you have our courageous field staff who continue to go to job sites. So our CEO started holding weekly company-wide talks. I mean,
Oh,
all
wow.
10,000 employees were able to jump on and ask questions if they so chose, and the courage that I saw from Peter and just him being the CEO, it really reinforced in me the values of this company, and made me really grateful to be here. And during the I would say civil unrest of the summer of
Mhm.
2020 as well. Turner handled that head on. They did not shy away. They handled it head on. They made changes in the company that needed to be changed, fundamental changes
Right.
that will continue. And again, my respect for the company grew. We have the sharpest people. We're not always in every sector going to be the busiest, in every market sector, but we have that backdrop of a large, international firm that takes very good care of their people. Turner is not the kind of company that when things go bad, they start, making those tough decisions that end up hurting families. They they're not that company. I don't know of another company even similar to Turner in that manner. We really have a culture here of active caring, of really caring about each other, and I feel completely comfortable being myself at Turner, and that's important to me. I like to keep certain standards of integrity, and Turner they've never compromised that. They've never caused me to feel the need to compromise that. So yeah, I can't say enough about them. It's a good company. It's a great company.
That's awesome. I think at this point in time that you and I both can take a moment and think about how blessed we are for working at the companies we work for. Me, with the city of Miramar, I couldn't have
Yeah.
found a better home to work for.
Oh, that's
As
great.
much as you love Turner, I love the city of Miramar and
That's
how
great.
the staff that I work with, how we work together, but also the
Mhm.
mayor and the commissioners and how they work
Sure.
together for the overall good of the city and for the business community. So that's why we're
That's
doing what we're
awesome.
doing. That's why we started a podcast to highlight those small businesses, to get them their marketing out there, to let people know what they are, what they're doing, how they're contributing to community. So yes, I love what you and I both are pretty blessed men to have companies that we
Excellent.
work with right
Excellent.
now. So,
No
so
complaints.
one last thing, my friend, before I let you go. Um,
Sure.
I'm quite sure if I was a subcontractor, I would eventually want to become a prime contractor.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
you would be a company that I would come to find out some of your best practices. Can you share some of your best practices with us, with our listening audience? About,
Okay.
I know about the integrity, I know about the
Yeah.
diversity, about all, and you just said a lot when you said what you loved about them. But
Right.
some of the best practices that you guys have used that has made lasting, successful and positive results. Ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen.
Right. So if you're going to transition from being a subcontractor to to the prime, right? First I would say not that's not necessarily a needed transition, it's you can do as well or even better if you do stay in a trade, but I respect that. I have seen firms start out with trade work and move into becoming GCs, right?
Right.
So the focus shifts, right? It's all about your client, right? So if you're a if you're a trade partner of Turner's right now, Turner's is your client, and you have to think of ways to make working with your client as easy as possible. So something we talk about in the business is to break it down quite simply, it's, are we easy to work with? You know, and if you're a trade partner and you're not easy to work with for whatever reason, it could be various reasons, um, that's a deterrent, right? So if you do become a prime, per se, you're going to get most of your business from repeat work, repeat clients. That's what you want to do. You want to build relationships, right? So the key is not get a job and finish it by any means necessary, but get the job and finish it in a way that you leave a good lasting impression, and that's going to get you your next job. So that's the trade craft. If you want to get into this side of it, is take care of your clients. Take care of them. You have to bend, and Turner bends, to our clients. We're not rigid. We don't throw the contract at them. We do what we have to do to make sure that we finish the job as a team. And it's simple and it's complicated, right?
Right.
Because there's a lot that goes into that. But that's what you have to do. You have to make sure you finish the job the way you started it, and that those high fives that you give your team members when you
Yeah.
secure work, you can high five the client when the job's finished, and they feel like you did the best, for them, and they'll want to give you other opportunities. And at the end of the day, that's what we're here for, and that's the business that we should be focused on.
I love that. I love it. Thank you so much. I know any of the businesses that are listening, and I know we have a lot that are listening today. Turner Construction Company, one of the best out there that is making a difference in our world, all around our world. You talk about to buy. all around our world, which is a wonderful thing. I love how you mentioned teamwork, and I also say to myself, even when I'm going out visiting businesses, and I have a team of staff people that I work with, but the business owner that I'm going to see, they become part of my team, because when they
Mhm.
see me, I'm a representation of the city of Miramar, which means that you're part of the team. Now that we're connecting with you, you're part of. So I love the teamwork. You said that you can give everybody a high five on that.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you for being with us today. I'm a fan. So well, I am a fan for one number of reasons. One is because I have a construction background. My
Okay.
father worked for a construction company, one of the
Oh,
major
wow.
construction companies in Cleveland, Ohio, well, in Ohio area. He
Wow.
did,
Okay.
so he built his company built like Holiday Inns. They built most of the Holiday Inns, most of the Marriott's.
Excellent.
They did a lot of restaurants. York Steakhouse, which was huge back then.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
he was and I did a lot of that. But then he did a lot of side jobs for people, like he built family rooms and redid
Hmm.
kitchens. So I did all
Yeah.
that stuff. So I'm familiar with it. So that's
Okay.
why it's a
It's
passion.
in your roots. It's in your roots.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
in my roots. My wife tried to get me to do it in my house, but I'm like, oh, okay. But then again, it's good to have you on the show. Thank you so much for enlightening us on Turner Construction Company. We'll be looking
Yeah.
for more great things that you guys have in store. Do you have any other upcoming projects that you'd like to mention?
So that's always a long list, and we're pursuing jobs large and small. What I would say is definitely try to get in touch, and that's I'm glad you brought that up because I want to leave, I want to leave the participants with something to look forward to as well, and reach out to our SPD group for the smaller firms, and obviously to our main group. For larger firms, but we do have several opportunities. We're very busy in SPD right now, and depending on where your company is in their journey, we would be more than happy to be a part of that. And we focus often on targeting smaller firms. It's not just by
Mhm.
accident. We on several occasions are seeking them out.
Wow.
So don't lose sight of that. It's an important part of the ecosystem, and we seek them out constantly.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, if you want to get in contact with Mr. Turner, or you want to get in contact with, like he said, the SPE group, you would like to log in on turnerconstructioncompany.com. Go on their website, check their website out, and see where you fit in that website, and find some people to connect with at the company there. If you want to know about more about the procurement management and how it works there, then you might want to get in contact with Mr. Greg Walker today. We'll have his information listed on the website.
Okay.
We'll have it
Mhm.
listed on Miramar's website, as well as all of our media outlets. So again,
Perfect.
thank you for being here with us, Mr. Turner, Mr. Walker. Um, Business owners out there, please, if you have not, register for the City of Miramar's Business Pulse newsletter. Our newsletter is it's full of everything that you need to know about what's going on in the City of Miramar. Weather alerts, webinars, events, training, educational, and financial opportunities are available for you there. It's at www.miramarfl.gov/business pulse. And also, bear in mind that our podcasts are bi-weekly, so tune in for those as well. Again, my name is Johnny Douglas, asking you to stay safe and stay connected, because it's right here in Miramar.